Wait, what's going on YouTube? It's Donnie here all day. This one's going to be crazy short. So here's the deal. One thing you learn as a YouTube knife reviewer, or any kind of reviewer probably, is you pretty much aren't allowed to have opinions because there's fanboys everywhere who cry at the slightest. You can't say anything bad about a knife brand. Okay, let's get that out of the way real quick. I recently brought you this guy, the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, right? This knife is fantastic. Now, here's where the problem comes in. No matter how many good things you say about something, fanboys completely ignore it if you say one thing they don't like. For me personally, if you add a tail and put some cheese here, this little thing will run across the floor to get it because I think this is so ugly. It looks like a freaking mouse. This style that they do, they have a bunch of different knives in this style with the high eye and this and that. I think it's ugly. I really do. The fact that it's ugly doesn't change that it is an amazing knife. This thing is super, super amazing. It is a matter. I keep wanting to go to a liner lock. The lock's up here. And here's the thing with that. It doesn't matter if a knife isn't pretty. It doesn't matter as long as it functions. What does matter when a knife isn't pretty, or even if it is pretty, if the design is so bad that it leaves things where you can hurt yourself or things that don't belong. There's nothing that doesn't belong. This isn't a bad design. It's a great design, as a matter of fact. For me, it's just ugly, right? There are a lot of knives that look crazy cool. You'll see a lot of them out there that are like fantasy-esque and zombie-esque, and they're crazy cool, and they have all this crap on them, but they're not very well designed as far as use, and that's the problem. I would rather have a knife that I think is ugly, that is built for use, that is safe to the user, than a knife that is attractive, but it is crappy. That's what I would rather have. So this knife, while I don't think it's a good-looking knife, I think is a great knife. Fanboys are like dogs, you know what I mean? They hear blah, 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 Rex, blah, 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 Rex. All they hear is blah, 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 ugly, blah, 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 ugly. And then they go, oh my God. Oh. So now this one right here, this is the Resilience, right? The Resilience is one of my all-time favorite knives, period. This isn't one of my all-time favorite Spyderco knives. No. This is one of my all-time favorite knives. As far as if I'm going to put a knife in my hand and have to use it, and you said you can only have one knife, and this was in the category of knives you showed me, I would grab this in a heartbeat because it is that freaking good. This is a extremely well-designed knife. Do I think the hump is ugly? I do. That's me. That's just my personal opinion. But this knife, I would never, ever get rid of. I mean, if all of a sudden one day it started getting a little old and rickety, and then somebody said, oh, we could replace it with a new one. Well, hell yeah, it's the Resilience. It doesn't have to be this one, but this one. You know what I mean? I love it. I really, really love it. This knife is spectacular. So aside from the Resilience and aside from the Paramilitary 2, the only other Spyderco I've ever owned was the Tenacious. The Tenacious looked like this one, and just like this one, and just like this one. It was a great user. It was a great user. But what I want to do is do a video of my top 5 favorite Spyderco folding knife designs. Does that mean that they are better users than this? I don't know. I've never used them. I'm just talking about my top favorite. And here's the deal. I'm going to throw in 5, and they're going to go in order from my least favorite to my favorite. But they are my top 5, which means number 6, there isn't another one in their lineup that I find to be a more attractive knife. Okay? And all of these knives they're attractive for Spyderco. No. They're not Well, I guess if I had to say the five best, I don't know. These are five that I really, really like. There's maybe six that they have, maybe seven that I'm like, okay, that looks pretty nice. A couple of them I really like the shape of, but the blade is too small for it just, I don't really like a stubby blade unless it's in a specific package to where it has to be. Um, it's I just don't go for it, right? But there's some that are really nice looking. So if I don't mention a knife that you love from them, and just understand this, I saw it. It's not in my top five because it's not in my top five. It could be in your top five. It could be your top one. But if it's not in my top five, it's not. I'm talking about current models on their website right now, not discontinued stuff, not stuff they made when they first started. I'm talking about knives that you can buy right now that are made right now from Spyderco. And there's going to be some models that you probably love. And if it's not on my list, you're going to go, oh my God, yeah, but did you see this? Yes. Yes, don't ask the question. I saw it. I know the one you're talking about. It's not on my list, okay? So, this is going to be a quick one. I just want to show you in reverse order. So, the last one you'll see is going to be my favorite. I'll tell you the names in the order you're going to see them, and then I'm going to show them to you so you can see what it's about. So, my fifth favorite design as a folding knife, looking wise, not using wise, because this would be my first because it's my favorite of the only three I've used. One of those might be my favorite user. I don't know because I haven't used them. But my fifth favorite design by looks is the Subvert. Very cool looking knife. A little odd looking, but odd in a good way, I think. So outside of that, then you're going to find the Drunken. This is another one where it's kind of, you'll look at it right away and you might go, but something about it just catches me. Something about it. It's more like a sheep's foot type thing. It's just a really cool knife. Number three, the Emphasis. The Emphasis has got beautiful lines. I mean, it flows like water, man. It's so nice. Number two is the, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the Amalgam. Amalgam. I can't even spell it, and I'm reading it. That knife, super nice. But my favorite design, as far as how it looks, and I would love to get one because I would love to see how it uses this one, that one, and the Amalgam. Those two, I think those two are freaking awesome, man. But the Native Chief. There's a Native, which is smaller, and then there's the Native Chief, which is longer. And a lot like the Emphasis, the Native Chief rides these beautiful, beautiful curves. It's like a swimsuit model that can stab you to death. It's just beautiful, man. So when people hear me say, oh, Spyderco, ugly, 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 I'm not talking about everything. Get it through your heads. I'm talking about just what I think is ugly, but I have not used, out of the three I've used, I have not used a single Spyderco that didn't perform. They're just great. So for the fanboys, this one's for everyone else. All right, so my top five, here they are.